some lever length and a good hand to beat him.
I gotta say that was extremely impressive.
We all
bought into it. And I'm most impressed with, but it's saddening to me. What's up, everyone? Monster Michel Todd here. We're in the Monster Factory with Corey West, the legend Ron Bath, and we just got through watching King of the Table 2. It was crazy. So, what'd you think?
Not what I wanted. I wanted just at least 1 or 2 wins on John.
I'm just saying he was so close round 1. Like Devin went full-blown Kings move to stop it. But
you know, as I was telling the guys out there, we couldn't feel what Devin was actually applying. But I think if John might have come up a little sooner or quicker and got in there a little tighter, maybe. But Devin's the master at manipulating.
The biggest thing about Devin's Kings move is you can't let him sink it in.
No.
Once you let him sink it in, it's very difficult to pin. I've been there as recently as a couple months ago, and it was very, very hard to finish. Yeah. But if you get him stretched out before he gets that last little bit of connection, he's vulnerable.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Didn't do it. And I think that just took enough gas out of John, and then Devin just added on top of it with the hook. Getting right in with the hook and then flashing him round 3.
I think flashing him round 3 kind of hurt him. I think it broke him mentally, but I think it might have tweaked him a tad. Round 2 was what I thought was most impressive. He did get a little bit of cup as soon as he did go, boom, and it just nullified everything that John had.
Yeah.
I was expecting John to basically mimic what he did round 1, and Devin put cranked that wrist, and it was all over. And I got to say, that was extremely impressive. Even more impressive than probably the 2008 performance.
Yeah.
Than when he beat John then. But, man, I mean, we talk about John being 57. What are you, 58, 59? How old are you?
Hey, 59.
59.
60 in 2 months.
Yeah, so, I mean, still a legend, still super strong. We can't say anything about age. John Brzozowski was prepared. It was the best version he could be at this time. And Devin had an amazing performance.
We lose a lot of our endurance with age, no matter what we keep telling ourselves. You're still not the same as you were when you were 40, but we can still pull with the best of them.
No doubt. What was your thoughts, Corey?
The John match unfortunately went kind of like I thought it potentially could. Watching everything building up, I totally allowed myself to think that there was a chance.
You couldn't. You had to. It's John Brzozowski.
I bought all the
way
We all
in.
bought into it.
It's John Brzozowski.
I was like, he can do 1 or 2 rounds. And
as I told Angie, we were living in the ghost of John Brzozowski past. The John Brzozowski of the past. I'll bet Devin even this week was thinking of John Brzozowski of old. You can't count John out of anything, no matter 57 or 37. And you still got to go into respect with John no matter when you're pulling. And I think, like you, everybody got caught in the hype, and we forgot John's 57. A lot of years.
And that he'd only been back for a few months.
Yeah.
In a year, it may be a whole different
6 months and he's that good. Imagine. I mean, because this is a motivated John Brzozowski. We have not seen a motivated John Brzozowski in a very long time. So it's exciting for me. It's exciting for the sport. Devin did what we thought Devin would do, but there was that part of you that just wanted to see it. You wanted to see John, cracking. For me, it would have been horrible because if John would have beat him, then I'd drop another spot in the ranking. So I'm torn like crazy. I'm like, well, no, I want him to win, but yeah, it was just it was fun to see. The whole card was very impressive. The Army's Gasparini, the guy has been a disrespectful little ass recently, but you still got to respect what he did on the table. He was very impressive, but he just needs to grow up. He needs to be more mature. You cannot disrespect your people, your opponents, your fellow competitors. I mean, you get on the table and you want to, show out there. That's great, but running your mouth prior to, or trying to make yourself look good by running someone else down, that just shows a level of immaturity that hopefully he grows out of. But as far as his performance on the table, very impressive.
Yeah, and it pretty much showed that there's you have to have some lever length and a good hand to beat him.
Absolutely. That's why Matt Mass was such a competitive match with him. Long lever. But I mean, Wayne Withers would beat him. Because you never know. Because he's not going to hook him. He's not going to drive into a hook, and that's where Wayne's vulnerable. So, yeah, if you're the same link lever as that dude, you're in for a fight unless you have a hand like yours and you can force him in the hook.
No matter how much horsepower you have against him, he showed that if you don't have hand, it won't matter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nope. Just been watching Gasparini in a short time. Very impressive young man.
He's a stud. He really is.
Yeah.
He's heavy now. He's a 275-pound kid, right? I mean, that's a big version.
And solid.
And the thing is, Gennady, we hadn't seen Gennady in 3 years. We'd seen a lot of training footage. We'd seen a lot of heavy lifts. but he has not fixed this yet. And
to me, it looked like all that lack of table time or competition time kind of showed, because he didn't do anything but the same thing almost every time.
oh, absolutely,
He did for every
And
match.
if I feel like if the Gennady was competing multiple times a year, he would have been different in the match. He would have done different things.
definitely a possibility. And that's what it. I mean, ring rust is not like, you cannot say John's performance today was because of ring rust, because we've seen him, go through 3-0, 3-0, 3-1, whatever. I mean, the man's been pulling, and John Brzozowski does not forget how to arm wrestle. But ring rust could very well have been a thing with Gennady, and not necessarily ring rust, but overconfidence by training with people who are not pushing you to your limit, and focusing only about gym lifts. Same thing happened to you. You focused on gym lifts while I'm traveling the country, and we didn't have the table time to be able to counter Todd's adjustment. Right, round one went exactly like we thought. The rest of them did not. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we'd had a little bit more table time, a little more comfortable, those matches could have turned out different. But that is a real thing.
But there with Gennady, don't take this match for granted, because he'll be studying pretty good.
Oh no,
Getting
absolutely.
ready for you.
Definitely,
You'll probably see a
definitely.
different Gennady than
I did
you
make
saw
I
today.
did make a statement that if Gennady did not beat Hermes, I was going to request them, if Gennady was okay with being replaced with Alex Gardecha. Because when I picked Gennady, it made sense, because that was my path to Levon, because the hype of Gennady was real. Mm-hmm. I don't know how people are going to perceive this loss, right? If it's too disrespectful to ask for a replacement, then I will go ahead and pull Gennady. Not saying he's not worthy. He's an amazing athlete. Who knows where I stand against those guys? But I don't want multiple matches to get to Levon. My whole path is Levon. That's all I want. I want to give it a shot. I want to find out where I'm at. And Gennady was just that step moving forward. So either way, I'm down for anything. If Gennady is injured from this match, or he still wants to do the match, then I'm sure we'll let it run. If not, I just would rather jump straight to Alex Gardecha, get that match, and then just keep training for Levon. But either way, amazing top tier athletes. Now, the one that I'm most impressed with, but it's saddening to me, is Brandon Allen's performance tonight. It was impressive. The man had a game plan. He said, I'm winning 6-0 or I'm winning 4-2. It's going to take 2 rounds for me to wear him out before I can, put the show on, and that's what he did.
Yeah. Almost to what you just described.
It's like
to perfection.
It was flawless. It was flawless. I mean, I do think they were calling the King's move wrong on because if you go by the rules, you have to either be a downward angle of your humerus or your shoulder has to be dropped. And he was level with the pin pad the whole time in his arm. So I don't know if they were calling King's move fouls or they're calling elbow fouls, because I couldn't see the elbow foul. But either way, by round 3, he found that he had enough fatigue on Larry's bicep, his wrist, his forearm, to be able to transition that press, and it was very impressive.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I hate it for Larry. I think he's a top tier athlete, so I'm sure he knows how to deal with loss and to make it drive him. But I just wish he would pick some, like in his next match. I would like to see him pull somebody. Not that I don't. Obviously, we don't need to see him pull another long lever top roller right now. Right. Not saying that he won't get good enough to beat those guys, but right now, I would also avoid some guys that the King's move is very hard to get around. That is a tall ask for anybody, especially a guy that's only been in the sport
for a couple of
years.
And it wasn't that he has a King's move. He has a King's move with a transitional press.
Yeah,
like he literally arm wrestled like a professional, like a guy with years of experience, because he knew when to do the bent wrist press. He knew when to transition. He did all the things right. Like, it was very impressive.
I think what we've seen with I think Larry stands a very good chance against a pretty high level short arm top roller, or a pretty high level. And when I say high level, I probably mean somewhere between 12 and 20 in the North American rankings. I'd have to look at the list to kind of pick somebody, but I feel like there's somebody in there that he's probably better than.
Oh,
and
right.
That's the match he needs to go after.
Right. I think power for power, if someone goes into a hook with him, they're going to run into some really strong guy.
Yeah. But if it comes, that would be a match that would be fun to see.
Oh, absolutely.
Watch him pull another hooker.
Oh, no doubt.
Initially, so get your confidence up, get a couple of wins under your belt. I mean, Larry definitely has the power, as was stated. He is definitely a world-class power strongman and athlete. So
no doubt, definitely.
He'll learn.
And the fact that he just loves it. He loves it. I mean, we were over there and he just would keep getting injured. It didn't slow him down. He'd come back and he'd keep training, keep pulling. So the fact that he is that passionate about arm wrestling is exciting because he does have a 2 million sub YouTube channel. He does have a lot of eyes on the sport of arm wrestling. So having him involved just makes the sport that much bigger. But
I think he needs to pull Ron Bath.
Ron Bath and Larry Wills, here we go. You may have a little bit too much experience, but if it's a hook only match, if it's a hook only match, maybe.
I can't say if I get desperate, I'm going
You're like,
out.
well, okay.
I know a guy like that.
You know someone? Hey, let's pull the hook. Oh, that didn't work. Come here.
Oh, I was wrong.
So Corey and I'll do that all the time. Like, okay, I'm gonna pull you the hook. Boom. Thought you was gonna hook. Well, hook didn't work, so I top rolled you. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, it's all good in theory until it happens. But that's our thoughts on King of the Table 2. We're about to go out here and do a little bit of arm wrestling, and I don't know if we can do the tournament. Well, I don't know exactly what's happening, guys, but tune in. Don't forget to subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and legend Ron Bath in the house.
There you go.